All right, it's episode 2.
We're coming back for more.
We're coming back for more. We're going to try this thing again and see what happens. So, all right. It was an interesting week, to say the least.
It was. It's been a very high road, very exciting road.
Yeah, it has been.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot in a good way.
Yeah.
In
Thanks.
a good way.
Thanks everybody for the shout outs we got.
Yeah, I had Amy Jones from high school. She shouted out she wants to hear a little bit more about her cats.
Okay. Oh, great. And we may hear the cats at some point during the show.
I gave them snacks before, hoping they'd be quiet.
Right.
And then my Aunt Debbie was like, do I listen or do I watch? I've never done a podcast before.
Welcome to the 90s. The 2000s.
But Aunt Debbie listened and watched, and she's like, you look great. I love it. And my cousin Carrie from Ohio, she was the first person to be like, I'm so excited. And then I had tons of shout outs, but the last one that just got me was Renee Smith. I worked with her as a pharmacist at Walmart for years. And Renee was if you went to Campbell, my Campbell friends will so get this, Campbell Pharmacy School. She was in the charter class.
Oh, yeah.
At Campbell's Pharmacy School.
And we'll tell you about it in a moment.
So she's like the goat of the goat of all
exactly.
of the pharmacy. At least for Campbell grads, we all know the charter class and the route they paved for us. But so I heard from Renee, and that was really cool because I always looked up to her. And like I said, she's in that charter class, so it's pretty cool. So anyway, and then last, I just got to laughing so hard. One of the girls I work with, Patty, was like, I love how you told Sam to kind of do a brief thing about himself and get Sam to, just a quick thing about himself. And she's like, 14 minutes later.
Oh, she counted? Oh, great. Geez, she's time marking us now.
I don't know
Thanks.
if she said 14. I might be the one exaggerating and saying 14 minutes. But we kind of laughed about that. And then I was like, oh, it's kind of like, Goonies, the kid in Goonies.
I want you to spill your guts. Tell us everything. Everything.
Everything. Okay, I'll talk. In 3rd grade, I cheated on my history exam. In 4th grade, I stole my Uncle Max's toupee and I glued it on my face when I played Moses in my Hebrew school play. In 5th grade, I knocked my sister Edie down the stairs and I blamed it on the dog. Do a summer camp
Okay,
for
we get
fat
it.
kids.
Okay.
And then one
So I'm
time,
Chunk now. Is that going to be my nickname on the show, is Chunk?
Maybe. Anyway, it was just funny. She's like, and then
All right, well, then I'm wearing a flowered shirt next week.
Well, you got the flowered
Well,
Santa
you've
shirt.
been there, though. You went to Astoria, Oregon, where they shot the Goonies house. After you've been there. So,
I
anyway.
did with my race girls. They were amazing and let me stop there. Saw Mystic Pizza too, so
That's
some
right.
pizza there. I've done some of my '80s movie highlight.
We're gonna have to talk all about that here on the show someday. So, all right, time to start the show. I'm trying out theme music. All right, welcome to the Sam and Emily podcast, Sam and M podcast. I'm gonna get the name right. I've got it. It's right here in front of my face, and I'm not even saying it. I'm Sam.
I'm Em.
And it's a podcast. And that's what we're doing. It's episode 2, and it's brought to you by State Line Power Wash, locally owned and operated by Parker and Smith Hammer. Pressure washing, painting, concrete floor, ceiling. Serving the Outer Banks, northeastern North Carolina, over 145-star reviews on Google. Schedule now for winter and early spring discounts. StatelinePowerWash.com. Get your free estimate right now. It is the Sam and M podcast. Speaking of 5 stars, give us those 5 stars. Give us smash that like button right now. Make sure you subscribe, whatever you're watching or listening to us on. Hit the bell whenever we might go live. That's the next iteration of this, is going live. I know you're already freaked out. So yes, that's exactly. We have that capability, as we've already shown with our weather coverage this week. So, but yeah, make sure you do it. And of course, hit us up at samwalkerobxnews.com. Show your support. That's how we're able to do all this stuff and give you this fine quality entertainment once a week or maybe even more, and keep you informed as well. So, lot to get to. I already did it. I wasn't going to say that.
But you did.
I did. It's a crutch. It's worse than my uhs and ums. Is the crutch that is a lot to get to in a short time to do it, or something like
Feels
that.
like life, actually.
Well, it is life in general for us. Okay, so we had a busy week around here launching. It's been a week. Then we launched SamWalkerOBXNews.com, and we had a little fun week this week with the weather.
We did.
That was a crazy, crazy storm.
I love the meme that had it's like Patrick from SpongeBob.
Uh-huh.
Patrick, the storm is like Patrick trying to, I forget what he was trying to do, but it was definitely like Patrick and SpongeBob trying to do whatever, but it's lost. But anyway.
All right, we got to work on this mic technique. We got to work on the mic technique.
Do we need to start over?
No, we're not starting over. We're just going to get this thing up here. Well, I think what I'm going to do, one is we're going to get her the earbuds, because I can tell those headphones are very uncomfortable. Those things are heavy.
Oh, they are heavy.
They are very heavy. I mean, there's some big Sures. There's some nice headphones, but they're too heavy. We're going to get you the earbuds so they don't muss the hair, so you don't end up with the hair ring like I have between the CPAP and the headphones for the last 40 years. I've got this ridge. We had to cut my hair before we started all this last week because I have this ridge that runs right here. Yeah. But we're going to get to the headphones. I think I'm going to get you actually the headset mic, because then you're able to move more, because, it's that, or I'm buying a boom. Do you want to buy a boom? I'll buy another boom.
Let's just let's just get the electric bill paid this month.
Okay. Good idea. All right, back to the storm. We've lived out here on this point now for going on 4 years. Mm-hmm. That was, without question, one of the wildest 6 to 8 hours living out here. I don't think it was as big as far as the water, because we've seen it where it's washed and hit the bulkhead. It was the wind, straight up. We had 72 mile an hour wind gust on my Tempest from Weatherflow. It's out here on the point. I hate where it's at, only because I don't get the west wind, but I get the south and the east and northeast, which is the majority of the winds we get. 72 here, of course. We've all know now. 102 at Jeanette's, 83 miles an hour sustained. Wanchese and Stumpy Point really took it the worst of any of us. Was it a tornado? Was it not a tornado? I could get into the science. I'm not going to.
Thank you.
But I kind of explained it in a story that posted on Thursday morning at SamWalkerOBXNews.com.
Y'all, it's been a lot of weather stuff around here.
We're not done with it yet. We're recording this Thursday night. We got to deal with it again tomorrow.
I know. And
you're not going to be here. And then we get the fun stuff on Tuesday and Wednesday with the potential for
snow.
No, stop. No, just maybe. But we get the single-digit wind chills next week. So yeah.
I mean, if it gets below 70, I think it's single digits and cold. So
exactly,
I'm cold all the time.
Shout out to my buddy Jeremy Markovich at ncrabbithole.com. Everybody had the power. We had the power go out here for a couple hours. He's got a new story. It's kind of an old story on his newsletter, the NC Rabbit Hole, which is really pretty cool. If you're not from here, if you're from here, if you're not from here, Jeremy digs up some pretty cool nuggets about stuff. I've been in the newsletter, been on his podcast, so I'm not going to lie. Why aren't the power lines buried? And the obvious reason around here, but we've got buried power lines, the water and things like that. They just don't want to spend the money. But a while back in North Carolina, they decided back in the 60s to bury them, and he explains what the reasoning was. It's actually pretty cool. Caught that. So anyway, dealt with the storm this week, dealing with more wintry weather. No, that's not the way to put it. Rough weather, unusual weather for January.
Yes.
So today, we're, like I said, recording on Thursday. Earlier today, we made the journey down to Nags Head, not Elizabeth City. There's reasons why. Most of us, we all say the DMV in Nags Head, down there at Barn Street. That's the place to go if you need to get your driver's license. We'll just go ahead and tell you.
They're just the nicest people.
They are.
And the guy's like, yeah, we're chill.
Exactly.
Chill.
It's kind of chill. It's Outer Banks,
I mean,
like the Outer Banks is supposed to be.
I mean, the guy ahead of us had his bracelet on, his ankle bracelet.
Ankle bracelet. I didn't think you were going to bring that up.
Sorry. But the guy
the poor
was
guy
super-
and he had to go. He didn't get what he needed done, unfortunately.
But the gentleman who helped him was extremely
awesome.
nice and not judgmental. And
Yes.
it was just very. Anyone will get this. It was just very the Outer Banks.
It was very much the Outer Banks. So we went and got our driver's licenses renewed. Yours expires the 19th. Mine expires the 25th. The next 8 years. And we could have done the online. Shout out John Brockwell, who is the public information officer for the North Carolina DMV. Good friend. Wants to move out here when he's finally done with that. He's actually the engineer for the Carolina Hurricanes radio network. Has been since the team was founded. He's worked for Duke and done, he pushes the ones and twos to make sure the radio guys are on the air from all over. Anyway, one of the things was renewing online. And I said, well, let's just do it online. We're done. We don't have to go in. And you're like, no, we're not being stuck for the next 8 years with the same driver's license photo.
Yes.
And you had a great point. But it's because what we have gone through, what we've been doing to improve ourselves health-wise, me for the last year, but you have got a much longer journey with this. And I think the one good way to start is kind of start at the beginning as a child, because you've dealt with this issue of that for a long time.
And let's just start back. My picture probably could have been okay to reuse again. Still a little bit heavier than I am now, but the reason the last one was done is we were heading off to Paris, and we were very afraid that my license picture didn't match anywhere near my passport picture, and we were afraid that it may cause some issues when we were traveling. So that's originally the original plan. But I think I was probably born a butterball. I mean, I don't even know what I weighed when I was born, but I think I was probably born a butterball. I vividly remember in 4th grade, like, my mom being, I'm not bashing, but, I was just chunky, and I've always been chunky. My weight has always been an issue, or what I thought was an issue. Weight Watchers, all the different things I've done through the years. I think I was in high school in Weight Watchers and college. And then right before James was born, I think I did Weight Watchers. I lost like 50 pounds.
Yeah, that's right.
But, and then 3 kids, and I don't know, I just got up to about 320 pounds. I don't know. I got off of a scale. I didn't get on a scale for a long time.
Right.
And finally decided, I went 3 different times. You used to have to go, I don't even know how you have to do it now, but if you have any kind of bariatric surgery is what it's called, you have to go to like a seminar thing and kind of listen. And the first one I went to, the only procedure that was out there was the gastric bypass. And I remember going and sitting behind a woman who she was going to speak, but she had the procedure. And I remember she just had bald spots all over her head. And they actually discussed it towards the end that you will probably lose a lot of your hair because your body's trying to keep the nutrients that it can have, and your hair is the last one. Anyway, long story short, I was like, I just don't know that I could do this. And I think I waited another 4 or 5 years. Anyway, I finally ended up the gastric bypass. No. Sleeve.
Right.
The gastric sleeve. Had a couple years been out, and I went, and Dr. Wogelmuth was amazing. He was my doctor up in Virginia Beach. And I had a great experience with it. I was on board, went 2 years.
Well, you had to drop so much within a certain amount of time before the surgery, right? Or you had to change things.
I had to change things.
Yeah.
So I did have to change things. And so the one thing, anyone who knew me back then, I started every day with a diet caffeine-free Coke. It's not about the caffeine, it's about the fizz. I loved the fizz. And when you have the surgery, you're not supposed to have fizz. So the very first day after that procedure, after my initial meeting, I was like, okay, gone are the sodas. And I did really good with that. And then a couple weeks went by. I said, all right, let me start lowering down how much bread I have in a day. So and I had to have a sleep study done. I begged him not to make me have it, but I did. And ended up on a CPAP before
You ended up in the CPAP before you even got...
Before I could have the surgery. Because
no. You ended up on the CPAP in the sleep study.
Oh yeah, they came in. They woke me up. That's right. The guy comes running in the sleep study. He's like, "You've got to have on. That's right. You've got to have on. We're going to put this on you right now. You stop breathing." By the time it all was said and done on my sleep study, I think I had stopped breathing in an hour's time, like some crazy amount of times, like 35 or 40 times, up to a minute. The last one was up to a minute. And when they came to give me my personal CPAP machine, the man who brought it to me and helped me show me how to set it up and stuff, he said, "You qualify for oxygen 24/7. I was 42, 43. I was like, "What?" He's like, your sleep study shows that you actually qualify for
I forgot about
for
that.
for
Totally
oxygen
forgot that.
24/7. And then side note about that CPAP machine though is we were living here in Coin Jock, and I was driving to Murfreesboro at the time. So like an hour, 20-minute drive. And there were many a mornings I would drive with the window down because I was like going to fall asleep, or many times I pulled over and I would take a quick nap because I just didn't think I could go any farther. Day 3, I remember day 3 after sleeping 3 nights with the CPAP, driving and being like, I'm wide awake. This is amazing. Like, it really made an entire difference in just having that machine. So anyway, did the CPAP machine, which then allowed me to have the surgery. The reason being they thought under anesthesia, you could possibly increase you die, right? Yeah. So, did the surgery, did very well. It was like maybe 2 weeks before Thanksgiving? I think the boys came home that Wednesday after my surgery.
Yeah. 2 weeks.
No, they came. I had the surgery like on a Wednesday. They came home on Friday.
Yeah,
So
that's
like,
right.
I think I got home that day and the boys were coming home from Fort Union. So anyway, though, I did really, really well. Before the surgery, I lost exactly the morning of the surgery. I had lost 50 pounds, and I wanted to prove to myself, it was just a thing, like, you can lose the weight. This is just going to be a tool, which they're very open about. Like, this is a tool. This isn't going to be the end all be all. Anyway, I did very good with that. My eating, obviously you just don't eat as much. You're full a lot sooner. And I did very well with that. Then Jonathan passed, and the weight probably had started to creep up a little bit before he passed.
So
so probably like 2018. I look back at the pictures. I probably about that summer had started to put on like 5 or 10 pounds. But anyway, Jonathan passed in 2019. The weight comes on. If anyone wants to discuss why you eat, if there's an emotion, I eat for it. Happy, sad, mad, glad. I mean, I just eat, bored, whatever. So then I was actually funny just looking at a journal that I had written. I think it was in 2022. I was like, this is, I'm done. I'm done with this. I need to get myself motivated. Tried to do all
In the
things.
meantime, you had, one of the things that you had done was going into the running community.
Yes, I did start running. Thank you, Amy Ennis. I had said, I'd like to do a 5K. And she's like, all right, well, there's this Santa thing you can sign up for. We'll do it in Virginia Beach. And it was a 5-miler, not a 5K. But yeah, and then we started.
The look on your face when you figured out it was a 5-miler was priceless.
Yeah. And then I started, then I was like, oh, well, maybe I'd like to do a half marathon. And anyway, now I'm on with my girlfriends. We're on this. We're going to do a half in every state type thing. And then we're like this weekend, we're doing another half just to do one and get away for the weekend. But anyway, I went to my doctor and I was like, look, I want to try something like one of the shots that's out there. Because I was following everything I was supposed to do as a bariatric patient, and the weight was not budging at all.
And this was in
2022, late 2022, probably.
Yeah.
October,
So it was before.
November.
Yeah, October. So it was just before the holidays in 22.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So I got put on like Saxenda, which was like the daily dosing, and then
Says what?
I know. And then the insurance wouldn't cover, is how insurance companies are, but they would cover Ozempic. So I started on Ozempic and did the Ozempic thing, and that worked well for me. But then the insurance stopped paying for that, and they paid for Mounjaro. And so lots of switches. My A1C, which is associated with what your sugars are running and if you're going to be possibly diabetic or if you are a diabetic, was just enough to make me pre-diabetic so my insurance would cover it. So I've been very, very lucky in that my insurance does cover it. With a coupon, I can get it fairly decent. And that has been probably for me in my weight journey, that has probably been the most life-altering thing for me. The shots, the weekly shots. And basically, because you do it now also, but I mean, it makes you feel fuller sooner, so you don't eat as much, and it takes longer to digest your food, so you're not
slows your digestion.
Slows your digestion, so you're not hungry, and you're not hungry 10 minutes after you eat a meal or whatever. And then it also stops the hormones that tell your brain I'm hungry, even if you're not.
Right.
So it works in multiple ways, and for me, it has just really, really worked well. Now it's a once a week dosing for most people. I'm to the point where I'm doing it every other week. So it'll be a maintenance drug for me the rest of my life. I will not stop it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things where
Sorry.
All right, get your headphones straight.
They were falling off.
Oh, I know why. Okay. We're getting you earbuds. All
They're
right.
falling off, people. Sorry.
Get on that mic because all I can hear is myself through your mic, so because of my voice.
All right.
So, yeah. All right. So my journey has been of someone who didn't really care about their weight, but didn't care about their appearance. That's one of the reasons I have a face for radio. Always said that.
I think it's an adorable face.
Thank you. You're the only person in the world. Maybe the kids, I don't even think they do. They don't want to see me. So, like they're watching, not.
They are. They all have sent. All the kids have sent a message all week and saying how great it was. So they are.
Okay. All right. So, my journey has always been had the spare tire since probably middle school, if not sooner, or earlier. Did my best at trying to be an athlete and turned into an athletic supporter. You didn't laugh. She missed the joke.
It's not the Golden Globes.
So Grease. Come on. Okay. Oh, we're not going there. That was a rather interesting conversation this week. So, was never a very good athlete. Played tennis in high school. That was it. Was manager for everything else. I played youth basketball. Was not very good at it. I had the little jumper from the elbow. That was what they call the elbow now. But we taught, at the key at the free throw line. The free throw line jumper at the corner. The elbow.
That's where my
That's
shot
where
was.
the elbow. So
the sweet spot.
Yeah, exactly. That
When
was
I
the
got
only
up-
shot I could ever hit.
When I got off the bench.
Whatever. Missed 5 fouls. I'm getting in the scorebook somehow. I'm getting in the newspaper somehow with the 5 fouls.
I was just going to say, as a side note, in Ohio, when I was growing up, they always had the little boxes for all the games,
Box scores. The agate.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes. Right.
Anyway, the only way your name got in is if you scored or fouled.
Right.
So if I did happen to get into a game,
you were
I
getting one.
immediately looked for somebody to foul.
Shack.
And remember, my maiden name was Klingenberger, and this space is this small, so it's I took up 3 lines.
You're an editor's worst nightmare, especially when you're working on.
But if I was ever in a game, I made sure to get my name.
You got your name in the agate. Okay, all right. So anyway, back to me. Played tennis, was slow as molasses, couldn't move, and it wasn't like I was in that. I mean, at time I graduated in high school in '91, I was 185. So go to college, and what do we do in college at that fine, upstanding Baptist institution in Bowie's Creek, North Carolina? 12-ounce curls. Yes, let's go. And what do? Well, we put on a few pounds. I go back and look, and one of the things, we are a multimedia operation here, but I did not queue up enough photos, and I wish I'd queued up the photos of us at the Admirals game for your surgery, and of
No, that was the week after my surgery.
That was the week after.
Yep, the boys had come on.
So you had lost already before that.
Probably
photo.
about 10
Well,
pounds.
there's several photos. The photo of us on the court, I posted every March, of us on the court at the Greensboro Coliseum, the playground of the Piedmont, ahead of Campbell Duke in the 1992 NCAA tournament, where I've got I'm wearing the double-breasted suit
that did not fit you.
That did not fit. And I'm out. I mean, I look like I've got a basketball for a head. It's just an awful photo.
It's a good
of
memory,
me.
though.
It's a
No,
great
it's not.
memory.
It's
It's
a
a
good
great memory. I mean, you can still see the scoreboard, and I mean the one of those cool things. Me, the scoreboard junkie, and some of y'all know about that. Is seeing the game clock up there behind us in the Greensboro Coliseum. All the greatest basketball game ever played was played in that building. That's some cool stuff. Anyway, go through college, roughly hovering in the 190s to 200 back. Not really. Didn't do anything other than officiating, which I really didn't do a whole lot of in college. I was in front of a mic most of the time, or I was in front of a VCR watching James Bond movies.
Well,
There's a story for you.
Well,
I guess hold that one for a later date. But the James Bond movies, there's some certain pharmacy classmates that will never let me forget that of hers. And doing what college students do, which is 12-ounce curls and eat ramen noodles and eat spaghetti out of a wok in the community in a dorm room many nights after playing golf all day in 12-ounce curls. So anyway, we fast forward to becoming a husband, a parent, now a grandparent, and eventually the pounds add on, and the 2 liters of Coke a day when you're sitting in front of a computer for 12 hours a day turns into 256 pounds by the end of February last year, almost a year ago, probably about this time of year. And that is still wild, but yo-yoing. I would be 256 in the winter, and then by the time the spring was over and officiating lacrosse, I'd get down to 220, maybe 225, 230. No, seriously, come on. I would usually lose about 20 pounds by the time we got through tournaments in June, and then instantly put it back on.
That would be 236.
Okay, that's what I said. 230. I might get down into the 220s. Okay, so
Love you.
yeah, love you too. 256. When I went on the scale before I went to the ACC tournament last March in Greensboro. Back to the playground of the Piedmont. Man, how time is a flat circle. And went to our doctor that we love, our PA.
Love her.
Over at Manuli Internal Medicine in Elizabeth City. And she put me on Monjaro, just like you, whatever dose it was, the first dose. And idiot me goes to Greensboro. Oh, I totally skipped the CPAP. Been on the CPAP. How long have I been on the CPAP?
I don't know.
Went on the CPAP, so I'm on the breathing machine at night. I've got the Darth Vader mask. I don't do the jokes with it. I could say, well, no, it's not the Darth Vader mask. No, I've got the Maverick mask, okay? Tom Cruise and the pilot's mask. No, it's the Darth Vader mask. Luke, I am your father. I can do that every night. Anyway, so we didn't get into the whole CPAP thing with me, other than earlier in the show. That's right, in the cold open with the headphones. All right, enough about that. Go to Greensboro. Did a first shot on a Monday morning, right in the side. And then pack up Tuesday, take the camper to Greensboro, get it all set up, go to the media room. It's the first day of the tournament. And what is the ACC tournament for me?
Junk food. Pizza.
Basketball and convention food in the back, but concessions galore, which is a totally different world than even before pre-pandemic now. But it's the popcorn machine literally sitting there to my right in Radio Row, the stacks of candy, the Dove bars, the unlimited Pepsi products.
Just to be clear, you called me and you were very, very sick.
Tuesday, so Tuesday, first day. Tuesday went well. Wednesday was like, oh God, what have I done? Because by Wednesday night, and that was a quadruple header, and NC State's playing in the last game, and I'm in the whole second half, spend it in the bathroom. Because all that junk food on Tuesday decided it was done, and it was not pretty. And Thursday was pretty. Anyway, that was the beginning of the end for me as far as realizing you can no longer continue this habit that you've had for your entire life of cramming down, eating anything you want and eating as much as you want and drinking as much Coca-Cola and Cheerwine and Mountain Dew, Baja Blast as you want. So the whole rest of the tournament, I'm like, oh God, I can't even, they're feeding us, and it's not, it's decent food, but it's still convention food. I mean, it's the, it's the chicken.
it's fast food.
It's fast food, but I mean, it's mass produced. But it was like, okay, nope, not getting the roll with the pasta. Okay, I'll get some I'm just going to get a small scoop and being good. Mm-hmm. Popcorn, yeah, I might grab a cup of popcorn where I used to grab the whole box and eat it sitting there and the crumbs all around me. I'm sitting there next to Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, behind, literally behind the benches. If you watch the ACC tournament this year, that's where I was. I would scam a seat right there, and there's Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, sitting 2 seats down from me. And we're laughing about something, had a short conversation. I'm name dropping. I'm bad at name dropping. I'm awful name dropper.
You are a tangent person too,
I'm
my
a
friend.
tangent person. It's the ADD kicking in. And sitting there instead of, with the popcorn kernels all around my feet, I'm just like, I'm cognizant of that stuff. So that's week 1. And it totally was like, you got to reset. You got to stop. That progressed through into March and April and May, which is lacrosse season for me, where I'm doing, and already I changed that, and then we start getting on the scale, and it's like, holy cow, I'm down 10, I'm down 15, I'm down 20, I'm down 20, I'm down 35.
And you were training for your first Disney race.
On top of running 5 to 10 miles a night, walking, and it's really more about walk, sprint, walk. But at the same time, training for my first Disney race. When was Shamrock? Because Shamrock was like the next weekend after the ACC tournament, or was it the weekend before? It was the weekend after the ACC tournament, wasn't it? So the ACC tournament second weekend of March, and the third week. So in that time, I did the 8K, Shamrock 8K in Virginia Beach. And was literally ready to say, no, we're not doing this. We're not.
He was literally ready. Not even mile 1, honey. We made it like a quarter of the way in, and you looked at me and you're like, you pay for this? You pay for this? This is fun. He complained y'all the whole 8K
until the end.
Until the end, and then you said, next year when we do this. Yeah. After he bitched and complained the whole time.
Right, exactly. So thinking, all right, well, we're going to do I'm going to do a 10 mile, do a 5K, 10K, 10 mile in the same weekend in April. And part of this journey for me with going on the medication was, we're going to do this. You're going to go run your first Disney race. And that was after having gone down and experienced it when you did the Dopey Challenge, where you ran the 5K, 10K, 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon in January, which just happened this past weekend down there.
And shout out to a lot of our friends who were just there and did it.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. I'm so proud of y'all.
And had to do a half marathon because of the weather.
But a lot of them went ahead and
But they went in and did the run, the 13.1 anyway.
Yeah, well, a lot of them went and did it. It's separate, yeah.
You've done the Princess. This will be Princess number 6 next month.
Number 8.
Number 8. Okay, so last year you did that. And having gone down there and surprised you twice and shown up in Magic Kingdom while you're doing the full... And then, anyway, doing that last and experiencing is like, oh my God, I cannot wait to do this. And realizing that was part of this was the motivation. You're getting to run on property.
And he was a nut when he did it. Just FYI. He was a nut.
Bees are tearing at my flesh. I never could get that. It's from Tommy Boy.
I know, but
every time we saw bees anywhere in the parks, I was like, I'm still going to do that. I'm going to do that forever. So anyway, training for that and then experiencing it and being able to do it and like, let's go. And then looking and seeing how many miles we ended up doing by the time it's done. So, I get through lacrosse season. I'm doing lacrosse now, doing a doubleheader a night, and where I had a goal where I would do one hard sprint, a possession on a transition, a game. Or even just if I had a doubleheader, one that night. And knowing I'm going to kill myself and I'm not going to be able, I'm going to have to pace myself to get to it, and then not be able to, I'm going to struggle the rest of the game. That was where I was in my previous years of doing officiating. I might get one sprint a night, and that's it. And then my head's pounding. I try to write on my card, and granted, I need the reading glasses. I don't need the glasses when I'm officiating. I need the reading glasses. So when I'm trying to write my scorecard, I can't see anything. It's blurry because my blood pressure's through the roof. Before even doing the Mounjaro, I was taking blood pressure medication.
Yep, which you're not taking now.
Which I stopped. I had to, yeah. So get through to late April after doing, we get in the second half of the season, get to May when we get into the playoffs, and I'm just like, holy cow. I'm not out of breath. I'm sprinting every possession. I'm beating these kids down the field. I never could run. I never, ever was able to run. Even when I was playing tennis in high school, that was the thing. I could not run. I was awful at it. It kills me. Now it literally is not even something that crosses my mind. Let's say, all right, got fast break. Let's go. We got to get from trail to lead, from the top of the box to the goal line extended down the other end of the field, 70 yards away. Let's go. Oh, we got a turnover. Going back the other way. Don't even think twice about it now. Where I used to do, I like to backpedal when I'm officiating, where I can keep everything in front of me. I would do it, but invariably I was getting up on my ass at least once a game if I did it at some certain fields because of the grass, but I was going to buzz. Now I don't even think twice about it. I did it all weekend this last weekend. I was backpedaling the whole time. Don't even think twice about it.
Braggart.
I'm not bragging. I'm trying to explain what this has done.
No, I know. I'm teasing.
Yeah.
I'm teasing you.
What, we've gone through that. Now doing the runs with you, I go and clean pools all summer, which was physical activity for 4 to 8 hours a day, depending on how bad it was. The particular house that I would go unnamed right now, I never want that place again, but I'll probably get up this summer. Anyway, going through that 5 days a week and working in the 95-degree heat, 100-degree heat, and not feeling tired when I'm done and not feeling exhausted, and not downing a whole meal, a whole value meal for breakfast and dying like I need lunch in 2 hours, right. Where it literally was a granola bar for breakfast on the way and maybe a ginger ale because my stomach was a little from the meds. I'm still have that, and I'll talk about the side effects in a minute. But not having that, not getting home and I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. I'm going to eat because I need fuel because I got to go ref 2 games now. I've cleaned pools. Now I got to go ref. I'm going to eat and then not cramming down a Chick-fil-A sandwich and a 12-count nugget and a large fry and a large Coke and getting a refill before I got home after a lacrosse doubleheader and then get up and do it next. I wasn't doing that anymore.
So let me be clear on a couple things. I want to, number one, we are just 2 people talking about our weight loss journey.
Right.
So we are not doctors. We cannot tell you what. Yeah. Well, I am a doctor of pharmacy, but
yes.
I am not. We are in no way, shape, or form here to tell you what dose you should be on or how you do. This is our experience. So yes. I do want to say that.
Right.
As someone who herself has struggled with her weight, and I know I joke, but I really think my entire life, I've done it all. I've done the Weight Not. I've done the Weight Watchers. I've done all that. There are bits and pieces to it, but I do think that people don't understand obesity in and of itself is like an onion.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's multiple things. It's probably nothing we can all cover in one time, but it is about how much you eat, fueling yourself, like you said, figuring that out. It's also about the exercise and adding that in.
Yes.
But there are plenty of people who do the right exercise, the right food, and they don't lose.
That's right.
And that's where these drugs come in. They affect the hormones and the other things in your body. So it is a I would just want to be real clear.
It's multifaceted.
It's not just one thing. No. It is a life. It helps you with your life. Yeah. Your life changing it.
It's not a magic pill. It's a tool.
Yes.
That is the thing.
An amazing tool.
An amazing tool because where I said at 256 less than a year ago, I was at 256 pounds. I'm back to my high school weight at 185. through the holidays.
Yes.
That's the other thing. I mean, it's through the holidays when you always are going to end up packing 5 and 10 pounds.
Right.
Throw in a little stress that was of the last 2 weeks. But, you know, it's one piece of a puzzle that we've been fortunate enough to have access to, because so many people don't. And that's where we get frustrated. And we're going to wind it down here because we do need to thank our sponsor in a moment. But where we get frustrated is that this tool is now available, but it's not available to everyone.
And it's not
yet.
affordable.
It's not affordable.
If your insurance doesn't cover it, it is not affordable. I mean, it's
and just this past a couple of weeks ago, state health plan, they're not going to allow any new prescriptions for it right now. They put a moratorium on it. They're talking about dropping it entirely when they could completely change the health of their workforce, the state government's workforce, for the better. They're really considering it because it's going to bankrupt them. Well, you know, what's bankrupting you is all the other stuff, all the other effects that obesity causes. Think about it.
right. Like I told you earlier, though, real quick, I'm just going to say this is a battle. Honestly, the people who need it are in the middle. It's a battle between an insurance company and a drug company. These drug companies come out. These drugs cost, like, if you were to pay out of pocket, anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600 a month.
That's
so
insane.
your insurance company can't afford that. That will bankrupt them.
Yeah.
If they had everybody on it who needs it. So what they're going to do is they're going to stop paying for it. Well, not very many people are going to be able to pick up that cash price. So these drug companies are going to be stuck with all this medicine and no one buying it. So what the insurance company is trying to do is force the drug company to bring down the cost. I promise you within 2 years, this will be a normal thing that anyone can get. But I know you have to do this sponsor. But I will say, I've had several people reach out to me through the last year and a half, and feel free to reach out to me. I can give you some tips on insurance stuff, coupon stuff, dosing stuff, side effects. You know, Sam does his shot in his thigh to lessen your side effect, right? You're not so nauseous. I do mine in my belly. I have always done it in my belly. And I promise you, I am petrified of needles. Petrified. I mean, I pass out when I go to have blood drawn. I have to lay down. I'm such a princess. But this shot, I do not even feel. I mean, it is just a crazy, crazy thing.
It is. But again, it's one piece of the puzzle. And that's why we wanted to share with you where our journey has taken us. Where you're running a half marathon in Defusky, Defusky Island, South Carolina this weekend. I'm going to just go ahead and run on Saturday the same time. I told her today when we were walking around at Harris Teeter getting the free cookie, which we're going to talk about in a moment, I'm going to run a half. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to run a half. We did New Year's Day. We walked half of it. We did a half. We were going to do 20 that day. We did a half. But, you know, I don't even think twice about it now, where it's like, I need to get up and go do 5 this morning. And
you enjoy it. Here's the truth, people. Here is the truth. You're hearing it from me. I do not like running. I don't like it. Yeah. I like to walk. I like to fast walk. I like to walk. I do not like to run. The girls who I played basketball with from middle school through high school can tell you, I probably made us all run a lot more sprints because I never made it to the line in the time, Coach Bowman. But anyway, I don't like it, but there's 2 things about me. I love bling, so I love getting that medal at the end. And I also absolutely love the time I get to spend with my friends, with Sam now, that we do that. And I also love the feeling of starting something and finishing it. It's a pretty amazing accomplishment. So,
it is. Anyway,
no matter what your pace is, no matter what. Sam, though, is very fast, and he actually is quite impressive out there. So, and you enjoy it. You like to run. Yeah,
fast is a relative term. We're talking, what did I do? What did I say? I did the 5K, the Holiday Hustle 5K down at Fort Raleigh National Historic Site, the first race for the new Barrier Island group. I did it with a 10:30 pace. That's not fast. That's still turtle.
Your wife does like a 13.
We're going to get you to 12.
I think the fastest I ever did was 12:30.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right. It's the Sam and M podcast. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to StatelinePowerWash.com for becoming our inaugural sponsor. Pressure washing, painting, concrete floor sealing. You got them fuzzy bill bodies still stuck on the siding. the driveway, deck, or roof looking all grimy and slimy, State Line Power Wash uses a process that gently gets those shingles looking shiny. Even old roofs can look brand new. Hey, ready to freshen up the outside or inside of your home? Then State Line Power Wash will get you covered with their painting services that'll brighten the look of your primary home, the home that may be going on the market, or your vacation rental. StatelinePowerWash.com. And at garage floor needs a coating, right? Well, State Line Power Wash uses a polyasporitic. I looked it up. I got the pronouncer to make sure it was right. Seal. It's a polyaspartic seal. Or aspartic. Yeah. Polyaspartic seal. I got it. It's the stuff they put on floors in commercial kitchens. So all I got to do is go with the hose and hose it off.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
and they don't fall and bust your faces when they're trying to run around and get yelled at by the chef. They also do concrete seals and coatings. The finishing touch for any outdoor space are perfect. Patios, pool pads, and driveways too. StatelinePowerWash.com, locally owned and operated by Parker and Smith Hammer. Boys who grew up here in Currituck. They've got a local staff too, so you're keeping it local with State Line Power Wash. And they've got over 145-star reviews on Google. They even do Christmas lights. That's right, they even hang Christmas lights.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. A bunch of our folks we know did that. From Moyock to Manio, Edenton to Duck, schedule now with State Line Power Wash. That's StatelinePowerWash.com and grab their winter and early spring discounts. StatelinePowerWash.com. Give them a call, 252-421-3775 for your free estimate at StatelinePowerWash.com. And thanks, Parker and Smith, for being a part of the Sam and M podcast.
I know,
do
they
really
reached out
appreciate
to,
it.
they reached
came
out
to
to
us. This is not something we were planning on.
Anytime
And we
soon.
do appreciate that more than you can say. And if you want to hit us up, Facebook Messenger works. SamWalkerOBXnews.com at gmail.com is the email address. We would be glad to see and maybe make something work for you to be a sponsor here on the Sam and M podcast.
But they really, really made our day, thinking, coming to us and saying,
Yeah.
Hey, we want you guys to
It
do
was-
this for us. It was
amazing.
It was
It was
a
really like shocking. All the great feedback we've gotten from everybody on the
Yeah.
podcast about the podcast, being available on Facebook, being available on YouTube, being available on Spotify. Now we got it on all the podcast platforms. So whatever one you like to use, you can listen to us there. What was the great comment we got from Aunt Ginger?
Oh, yes.
The
It has the
captions.
captions.
Yeah.
It has captions. So
I don't even have to do that. It's all AI driven. So all I have to do is click the thing that says generate captions, and it generated the captions for the video, which was really like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's such a cool
I forgot.
feature.
We didn't even know that till Aunt Ginger said it. Right.
I know, exactly. Yeah.
She's really not our aunt, but if you live in Currituck, she's everyone's
who we're
aunt.
talking
Everyone
about.
knows Aunt Ginger.
Yeah, Ginger Robertson, Currituck Barbecue Company and all that crowd. So shout out to them. All right, it is the Sam and M podcast. Sam Walker, OBXnews.com. Like us, hit the bell. Know when we're going live or when we've got new content up. Subscribe. Mash that like button. 5-star reviews, please. I'm not going to steal Ovius and Giulio's line of 5 stars and positive vibes only. But anyway, I just stole it. I just stole it. All right. We were talking earlier about DeFusky.
Yes.
You got that's this week. That's what's up with the Walkers this week. We need a theme for it. Can I play some music?
Oh, gosh.
All right. No, I'm not going to play the music. Okay.
Go ahead.
I heard you. No, that sucks. All right. We're playing around with music today and trying to come up with a theme. I like this one because it does have a little bit of the 80s vibe, which is what I was looking for. Because, we have to get the unlicensed, we have to get the royalty-free music, otherwise we get dinged on.
Oh, we don't want to get dinged.
All right, so it's What's Up with the Walkers this week. Of course, launching SamWalkerOBXnews.com.
You got to turn that off. I can't focus.
Okay, sorry.
I can't multitask.
You can't multitask. Get ready. Hey, when I figure out how to do all the drops and make it get in there, you're really going to hate me. And when she figures out how to do the soundboard, she's really going to love it. Okay. DeFusky, South Carolina, DeFusky Island, South Carolina. Quick, tell us what you got coming up.
This is my third time there. So that's where we started our 50 states in 2020, I think is when we went, or 2021 maybe. 2021.
2021. Yeah.
And then you go to Hilton Head. We stay in Hilton Head, my girlfriends and I, and then we will go take the ferry over. And
Think of it as like Bald Head Island, which is down on the southeast corner of North Carolina. It's kind of an Ocracoke type situation, but this is in the middle of the Savannah, where the mouth of the Savannah River is, where this Georgia-South Carolina line is what Daufuskie Island is. And it's got a really cool history.
It does, but it's more about me being with my girlfriends and running this weekend. It's actually a really beautiful. Well, what's the name of the author who wrote the book? He was actually I read it too for book club. He was a teacher there back in the 60s.
What book are you talking about?
Pat Conroy. Did he? Is there an? I feel like an idiot. Anyway, look it up.
Google is our friend.
Anyway, so we go there. You take the ferry over, and you run. You do the 13 miles.
The Water is Wide by Pat Conroy.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a cool vibe place. They don't allow vehicles. I mean,
Bald Head Island.
Of course, there are a couple there, but part of the run is on like a sandy path that's down, and then you kind of go through the part where the poor people live, and then you go to the end. You end up on the one side with the big, beautiful mansions and stuff. I mean,
it's the Outer Banks.
It is, but it's just such a cool.
The worker bees and
it is. But it's such a cool place. And two things real quick about it. This race I love is the lady who runs it is from Fleet Feet out of Savannah, I think is the ones who run it. But the lady's mother lives in, I think, Pittsburgh, and her mother works for weeks beforehand and makes homemade cinnamon rolls. So when you get there, you have these amazing cinnamon rolls and coffee. As a matter of fact, there's a faction in our group that is considering just eating coffee and cinnamon rolls and not doing the race. And then when you finish, it's tons of drinks and music and food, and it's just a great atmosphere. And then you take the ferry back,
right.
And then my girlfriends and I we get bikes, and the next day we bike to Tequila Tuesday, I think it's called. And
Tequila Tuesday,
and I think we spend all afternoon drinking margaritas and chips, and have a fun bike ride back. So anyway, I've done a half marathon there. I did my first full marathon there. And the fun fact about that is I always meet friends on these races, and the girl whom I finished, Sarah, who I finished my marathon with, who lives in Savannah, she's coming and actually staying with us girls. So
sleeping on the floor.
Yes, but Sarah's coming. So, you meet friends along the way.
Yeah.
And so this will be my second half marathon there, but I've done 2 halves and a full.
Yeah.
I love it.
So driving down 95 with severe weather rolling through. Well, looks like look at the forecast. You should get down there before it hits. So, but here's the frustrating part for me, and it kind of ties into one of the big stories in North Carolina this week, which is our friend Bucky the Beaver is coming to the Tar Heel State in Mebane, which means he's 4 hours away. But anyway, you get to drive by Bucky's in Florence on your way down.
So the one near Williamsburg will be closer for us.
That's right. We do get one up there at Charles City.
Right?
Oh, yes. We do get Bucky's in 2 hours instead of, Okay, but you get to drive by there, and you won't stop unless you get gas. But you won't stop
we
there.
Might.
Well, you're going to lunch.
At Bucky's.
You're lunching tomorrow.
Do not make fun of our lunch.
At Cracker Barrel in Smithfield.
Hush. They even have like
when there's
mimosas
brisket
and stuff. Just hush.
There's brisket awaiting.
This is our trip, not yours.
In Bucky's.
It's our tradition. We stop in Smithfield, Virginia at Cracker
North
Barrel.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah. North Carolina. Sorry, people. We be going the wrong direction. Don't ever pay attention to me for directions.
Well, you're not in Wilmington, freaking North Carolina, are you? There's another story for you in the near future. So, okay, so Daufuskie is this weekend.
Yes.
What am I going to be doing? Well, it looks like I'll be covering the weather all day Friday. Not nearly as bad as what we dealt with just a couple of days ago. And then, as I said at the top of the show, we got, the cold weather coming next week. Coldest weather of the season, it looks like, so far.
Sounds like a reason I need to go shopping and get some more warm clothes.
All right, so what's going on with the site? We got at samwalkerobxnews.com. Mr. Beast buys an island for $1.
Yes.
Yeah, bought $1 for In the Shadow of the Body Island Lighthouse. Basically, it's a duck blind in the marsh. That's what he got. Came out here a few weeks ago, video crew. We'll wait and see what's going to come out of that. Breeze Airlines is, let's see, they're going to start nonstops between Norfolk and San Diego. Did you know San Diego is the 5th most popular destination out of ORF? Did you know that?
I did not
Makes
know that.
total sense, though, because of the naval
Disney?
bases. Naval bases. Naval
Well,
bases.
I mean, how far is San Diego from Disneyland?
That's in Anaheim. San Diego's here. Anaheim's in L.A. up here.
Again, people, I'm not really good
Because of the
with
Navy.
geography.
Think about most of the people that are on those flights we've taken in the past through Norfolk. All
San
right.
Diego has a good zoo.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
We could
that's
take
right.
Wayland and Harper.
Three's Company.
Hey,
Regal Beagle.
Hey, yeah.
Now we're,
I
now
really
we're
wa-
showing our age. Okay. Sad news this week. Former Dare County Commissioner and Manio Mayor Bobby Owens passed away on Tuesday at age 91. Governor Cooper threw a Facebook post up on Tuesday morning. I'd forgotten that he was chair of the North Carolina Utilities Commission at one point.
Yeah.
But a lot of great tributes coming in about Bobby Owens. We saw him actually the last time you and I drove. We were in Manio together. We saw him. Yeah, we passed by him. I said, "Hey, there's Mayor Owens." So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, all right. A story that I wrote that our founders at SamWalkerOBXNews.com can read about, which is beach tents in Duck. You're going to be able to put them up longer and take them down later in the day. And our pals, vendors, they're going to have to pay to operate. They're going to have a business license. So we got details about that. But the story we ran earlier this morning at SamWalkerOBXNews.com, which involved a stop on the way home at Harris Teeter in Killable Hills. And yes, we have confirmed the sugar cookies, the free sugar cookies from Harry the Dragon are back. They're back.
And they taste just as good as they did before.
They do. Harry the Happy Dragon, he is.
Although I think the bakery lady was judging us because we are not kids.
Yeah,
She did give us a look.
she did give us what we only took one and we split it
Yes.
because we didn't need to be eating a cookie each, part of our journey. But at the same time, we weren't going to be those people. We are going to be those people posting it on TikTok, though.
Probably the only people who know about it.
And
Like
all our something.
our kids, like I know Harris Teeter used to hate to see us come
Oh,
in
my
because our
God.
kids were like,
Yeah, because remember when it used to be up front?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And it was Harry the Happy Dragon holding the box.
Yes.
I love that look.
So
There's
you
something
would
about
just
something
have
about
the
his
kids
look.
get a
I
cookie so
love
you
it.
could do the store, and then as we were going out, they were each like grabbing.
They were grabbing one.
It
Yeah,
was-
yeah, right.
The
So
Walkers have definitely eaten their weight in.
It's at the bakery
cookies.
counter at the one in Killable Hills.
Yes.
Let's see. We're going to skip the rest of that.
Okay.
There's one thing about it. I did a lot of show prep today, knowing that we were going to probably be running short on time, or we might be long on time. We don't know. That's part of the fun about a podcast and it being unscripted.
And I may have had a temper tantrum when he gave me like sheets. I was like, I thought we were just going to talk. I was like, this is not what I signed up
All
for.
right. Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
All right. I
guess.
want to make you're going to do a couple of read what's up OBX. So get
on
down
my
there.
phone?
Yeah, I know. Go find it. What's up OBX? That's what you're looking for. There you go.
Okay.
You want to do that one? You're going to do that first one. Okay. All right.
Okay. What's up, OBX? Tryouts for Outer Banks got talent at the Pioneer Theater in downtown Manio, which I have not been to yet. I really want to go.
You need to go.
The auditions will be held Saturday and Sunday at the Pioneer Theater in downtown Manio. They will be closed to everyone except performers and judges.
And the deadline, if you're listening to this, I know podcasts have a long tail. Deadline is on Saturday to get an application in if you want to play.
Okay, so then on Friday, January 26th and January 27th, the Pioneer Theater celebrates a weekend of undiscovered and newly discovered talent. Ooh, we should put that on our list to do.
Right.
The Friday
No.
night show with The Voice Season 24 winner, Huntley, is already sold out. That's really cool. Then the OBX Got Talent selections will perform in round 1 on Saturday night on the Pioneer Theater stage at 7 p.m. Round 2 is scheduled for February 24th, and the finals are March 30th.
And we got the deets for you at SamWalkerOBXNews.com. Go to the Pioneer Theater Facebook to find out how to sign up if you want to get an audition. Like I said, those are closing Saturday, but we just really wanted to put it out there that big show they're going to have with the OBX Got Talent is coming up on Saturday the 27th for first round. But, of course, Huntley from The Voice, Season 24, that show's already sold out. So props there. Celebrate the rich legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. during the community-wide program in Killable Hills. It's the 33rd year of the celebration has gone on in Dare County. It's this Saturday, the 13th, begins at 11 o'clock in the morning at First Light High School's auditorium in KDH. Monday is a big day over at the Vaughn Center at ECSU. It's the 2024 RL Bobby Vaughn Border Clash, hosted by our friends at WRVS 89.9. Our buddy Clay Mercer, Curry Tuck boy, he's a great friend. He organizes this every year. 9 high school basketball games. They're going to bring the bands. They're going to bring the cheerleaders, too, which you know is going to be fun, especially with some of the schools from up in Virginia that bring their bands and cheerleaders. That's always a lot of fun. It's all day long, plus there'll be a special recognition of the Vaughn family as well. Starts at 9 o'clock Monday morning with Perquimans and Booker T. Washington. 10:30, Curry Tuck takes on Manor. 12 o'clock, Camden and Lakeland. 1:30, Washington County against Great Bridge. 3 o'clock, this is an intriguing matchup to me, as Northern Nash and Catholic. 4:30, Edenton Holmes and Nandua out of the Eastern Shore. 6 o'clock for Northeastern and Grassfield. 7:30, that should be a good one. Pasquotank and Indian River. And then the nightcap is Bertie and Franklin. That's all Monday. You can go to the WRVS 89.9 Facebook page or the Elizabeth City State University Facebook page. They've got all the info there. Shout out to our buddy Justin Bateman, who is host of the Outer Banks This Week podcast. You go to outerbanksthisweek.com, click on the podcast tab, you'll find it there. He's got his guest Joel Scheingold, who owns the Wreck Tiki Bar. It's right there next to the ferry dock in Hatteras. They're talking about some of the big events that are coming to the Outer Banks in 2024 on this week's edition of the Outer Banks This Week podcast with Justin. And finally, a big event coming back, and one that's close to your heart, which is the Moyock Women's Club White Out for Hunger Gala.
Yes, and that is actually, we're bringing it back to Curry Tuck County this year on March 16th. It's presented by Town Bank and Cesario? Cesario.
Yes.
I apologize. Properties. And this is the 5th annual gala, benefits the club's efforts to eliminate hunger in Curry Tuck and features great food, music, and fun. For 2024, the gala will be held at Lob Lolly Estate, a historic 31-acre estate on the shores of the Curry Tuck Sound. That's just minutes from the Wright Memorial Bridge. Tongue-tied, sorry. More details about the gala, including ticket sales, will be announced soon. Follow the Moyock Women's Club on Facebook for the latest updates, and we'll have the info for you at samwalkerobxnews.com.
Always a fun event that's been going on for, like we said, this will be the 5th edition of it. And it'll be interesting to see how it goes down there. It should be a much different vibe, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. We're trying to figure out if the schedules work for me to be there. I know you're going to be there, right? Yes.
Well, I wasn't sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm planning on it. Right. I think I've only missed it once, but it is a lot of fun for a really, really good cause.
Exactly.
And who doesn't love to dress up? I mean,
that's right.
It's fun. It's fun. But you do not, let me just be clear, you do not, they call it White Out for Hunger and everyone tends to wear white, but you do not, you can come and just have a great time. Right. It is just a good time for a good cause.
All right. Finally, take a couple of, you got the shout outs in on the open. I'll throw in a couple of shout outs we got on Spotify. Sandy says she wants to hear us talk Disney. We're talking about what do you want us to talk about on the podcast, and we've heard from you and we want to hear from you. So comments, likes, all that stuff, comments on the YouTube, comments on the Spotify or whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on, comments on the Facebook pages, comments on the website, samwalkerobxnews.com. We want to hear what you want to hear from us, okay?
Or send a Facebook private message.
DM us. Hit us up on our DMs. So Sandy on Spotify says she wants to hear Disney talk. We are going to do that. We know, for one thing, it is so easy, honestly, to take, and we could do probably a daily show and then run out after about a week and a half.
If you think Sam Walker goes on now, just wait.
And we're going to have to be very careful of that. We've got... Yeah, I know. Okay. Thanks. But, okay, talking about the Disney parks. Yes, we're going to do some shows about the Disney parks. One thing that we already have reached out to one person who wants to be a guest, and I've got at least 2 or 3 others already lined up that I'm going to hit up. That's going to be pretty cool, I think, to get them on, not just because of their fellow love for Disney, but maybe they can help us reach a wider audience too. Shameless plug. But, yes, we are going to do that. We're going to have to focus them because we're already at an hour and however long it is tonight. But focus them on some of the content we're going to discuss because we could just go off and on and off about it. So, yes, Disney. Lashrika on Spotify says she wants to hear about raising adult kids and healthcare, which we did. But I mean, we could go into working in healthcare. We could talk more about, our weight loss journey, all that stuff. But raising adult kids, which, I mean, I would say at this point we're not into the raising them because they're out of the house at this point. But at the same time,
I think I've thought about that comment.
Yeah.
Raising adult kids, I would say at this point, it is the hardest thing for me, the hardest and the best thing.
Yeah.
It's in the same.
Right.
Anyone who knows me knows I'm a bit of a control freak. And so watching
Pshaw.
Yeah, I know, right? Watching my children be adults and be parents and be members of society and all these great things is amazing. But at the same time, letting that control go so they can do it is very difficult and yet rewarding at the same time.
It is.
It's an interesting dynamic to be in, but I'm loving it.
We'll have to figure out a way to do that and not have it where the kids don't talk to us for 6 months and don't bring the grandkids to see us and things like that.
Or bring the grandkids and leave them for
or leave them for a week or something like that. So yeah, we'll have to be careful at it. So we do want to hear from you. If you've got something you want us to talk about on the podcast, we'd love to. Guests, yes, we'd love to have guests. We are going to be booking guests, local guests, regional guests, national guests. All types of ideas are already floating around in this massive melon that I have that looks like a basketball slapped on my neck. We're going to do that. So yes, we appreciate it. So,
and I would like to point out, we did get the studio a little bit cleaner.
We did clean up things quite a bit, including drilling holes through this kitchen table turned into a broadcast counter, and getting things a little more organized back here. We did kind of unintentionally end up with the Orangeburg shelf, which really turned out well. We got the Star Wars shelf there. We got Figment over there, Mickey and Minnie. We've got a little bit of a Polynesian kick over here. Yep. Ian's doll stuffed Mickey, Sorcerer Mickey.
Yeah.
So anyway, and we're gonna probably mix it up too. I mean, we might need to go seasonal. We got to throw some beach stuff in here every now and then, so we'll figure it out. But it's mostly the Disney background.
Yeah, but we did clean it, people.
We did
clean
it. Yeah, it did actually. It needed a bad cleaning. All right, the Sam and M podcast sponsored by State Line Power Wash, locally owned and operated by our boys Parker and Smith Hammer. Pressure washing, painting, concrete floor sealing, serving the Outer Banks of northeastern North Carolina with over 140 5-star reviews on Google. Schedule now for those winter and early spring discounts. It's StatelinePowerWash.com for a free estimate. Smash that like button. Smash it. It's right there. It's easy to do. Subscribe to know when we post new content. Give us those 5 stars and those reviews. It does mean a lot. Thanks to each and everyone who's become a founder or a member at SamWalkerOBXNews.com. Can't thank you enough. Less than what it costs for an energy drink or coffee you start your day with. Once a week. That's it. You're supporting local journalism as unique as the Outer Banks itself. Thanks, guys, for joining us here on the Sam and M podcast. We will talk to you next time, all right?
Bye, guys. Have a great week.